June 3rd, 2023 was without a doubt the absolute worst, most traumatic day of my life, and I remember every single second of it.
Somebody just got stabbed right in front of Chubby's.
One moment that changed everything.
He was on top of the other lady, and they were kind of looked like, just wrestling or whatever. Then I saw the knife in his hand and that he had stabbed her.
The weeks leading up to the tragedy were marked with dark foreshadowing. Stalking.
Left notes on her vehicle, was following her around, making her uncomfortable.
Threats.
Y'all gonna get yours.
And ultimately, retaliation.
What's wrong with you?
Her family knew something was coming, but they never could have expected what.
This is where the girls and the family were sitting to eat, and he was sitting here watching them the whole time.
Mr. Chubby is the suspect, male, white male. First name is Spencer, in his 20s. Black t-shirt, black pants. We're going to need more units, 1097.
This is Crimes of Passion by Law&Crime. I'm Sierra Gillespie. Watch on Spotify. Spotify subscribers get fewer ads on my video. Teenage love stories rarely pan out. There are a few outliers, but for the most part, our first loves end in breakups. Sometimes they're mutual and can even be looked back at fondly. This isn't one of those stories. After 16-year-old Madison Schemitz broke up with her 18-year-old boyfriend Spencer Pearson, her living nightmare began. That is, until everything went dark. It's April 2023 in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, a coastal suburb of Jacksonville along the southern Atlantic Ocean. Madison is a 16-year-old junior with her entire life ahead of her.
Madison was going to be a high school senior. She was going to be the captain of her softball team. She had plans to attend college. She was the best big sister anyone could have. She was the best friend anyone could have.
But there's been a recent change for Madison. She's going through her first ever breakup with 18-year-old Spencer Pearson.
They had dated prior to and had a breakup in April of 2023.
They began dating in October of 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
Broke up in April of 2023.
Yes, ma'am. She initially thought it was a cordial breakup, and then it did not continue to be that way.
Madison says she feels suffocated, trapped, manipulated, and controlled. And after the breakup, those fears only intensify.
The defendant started to what appeared to be stalk the victim, Ms. Schemitz. Left notes on her vehicle, was following her around, making her uncomfortable, sending text messages, creating fake social media accounts, harassing her, causing issues at school as well. One of the last things that was discussed was when the defendant created a fake TikTok account.
On Monday, May 29th, Spencer writes a menacing TikTok message to Madison, reading, "Y'all going to get yours." This isn't the first time Spencer's made threats or taken drastic and dangerous actions. His dad, Daniel, believes things began to change for Spencer during the isolation of the COVID-19 pandemic, but it reached a breaking point when his relationship with Madison ended.
How did you learn that your son was attempting to take his life without you?
We got a text message, and we...
From whom?
I think it was Spencer.
You remember the content?
It was, I love you, Dad.
In response to that text, what did you do?
Ran upstairs.
Okay. To a particular room in the house?
Yeah, to his bedroom.
Spencer's? What did you find?
He wasn't there. And we looked in this closet. Tanya was with me. And he was hanging.
Were you and your wife able to get him down from that position?
Yeah, she struggled a bit getting it untied. It seemed like forever. She got it loose. I threw him on the floor. He was blue.
Could you tell whether he was breathing?
I couldn't tell.
He was blue in the face?
He was blue in the face. And then there was tears coming out of his eyes, and and Tanya were just hugging on him, crying. And then we got him downstairs on the couch, trying to figure out what to do.
Spencer is taken to an inpatient care facility in Jacksonville for treatment.
How was Spencer on his discharge?
Seemed better. Seemed a little bit better. Didn't seem to last long. He just kind of reverted into a deep depression.
By June 3rd, 2023, Madison is now 17. Spencer's stalking and threats have reached an all-time high, and she's making efforts to retain a restraining order against him. But for this one Saturday, Madison wants to put everything behind her and just enjoy the day. Madison and her friend Chloe make plans to visit the beach, but so too does Spencer.
I was out in the yard working, and I saw his truck backing out, and I asked him, I waved him down. I said, where are you going? He said he was going to the beach. And he stopped and put the car in park. He wasn't in a hurry, just very sad. And I asked him if he wanted to take our puppy with him. And I was glad he was going to the beach to get out and maybe get some fresh air, and he's off the couch.
Did you see that as a hopeful sign?
I did. I did.
At the beach, it's unseasonably cold and windy, so Madison and Chloe instead hit up the community pool. They hang out there for a while with their moms and brothers before they decide to grab something to eat and watch the Women's College Softball World Series. Once inside, Madison and her mom, Jackie Roget, scope out the restaurant just to make sure Spencer isn't following. The coast seems clear, so they sit down and order. But then, the restaurant's front door opens. Spencer walks inside and takes a seat at a high-top table. Seconds later, he gets up and walks to the bathroom. Everyone at Madison's table notices him. He comes back, sits down, and orders some mozzarella sticks. Everything seems okay, but Madison and her mom, Jackie, are on high alert.
This is where the girls and the family were sitting to eat, and he was sitting here watching them the whole time.
Okay. That's number 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's it, so the restaurant, back to the house. So he was sitting here, that's where the family is.
Okay,
This is
that's number
20. And that's
that one's.
Were they any of them arguing inside? Or
no, they didn't speak at all, as far as I know.
Were they different groups or separated or all together?
The kid was by himself, and he was sitting at a table in the bar area.
Yeah.
And then mom and the two girls and then the other lady were sitting down here on the dining room floor.
They weren't had nothing to do with him at all. They were just coming.
They were just separate, yes. And as they were leaving, the mother pulled me outside and asked me if the kid was eating or if he was just there by himself. And I was like, well, he's eating. Or she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, is everything all right? And she said that they had, did some kid stuff going on. They had broken up.
Madison and Jackie walk into the parking lot away from Spencer. Madison takes out her phone and snaps a picture of Spencer's car. She's trying to obtain a restraining order and needs this as proof of stalking. And that is the exact moment when everything changes.
Who is this kid?
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Somebody just got stabbed.
What's the address of the emergency, ma'am?
Oh my God, it's at Chubby's Wings on A1A.
Chubby? And you said somebody
Yes.
got stabbed?
Somebody just got stabbed right in front of Chubby's.
The entire scene plays out in broad daylight.
I remember finally reaching my car and hearing my mother scream. Knowing my mother, I could hear her fear. I could hear that whatever was happening was not good. June 3rd, 2023 was without a doubt the absolute worst, most traumatic day of my life. I turned around and saw the defendant running towards me faster than I had ever seen him run before. Not knowing what was coming next, I turned and attempted to go in the opposite direction. This was when the defendant had grabbed me. I hit the ground and began feeling the attack.
Spencer rushes out of Mr. Chubby's wings, armed with a knife, and proceeds to stab Madison 17 times.
I remember being on my hands and knees, begging for the defendant to get off me, with my screams slowly becoming more and more silent.
And Madison isn't the only one. Spencer also attacks her mother and even a complete stranger.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Oh my God, he's sliced open. Oh my God, there's more people injured.
I remember staring at the ground, my thoughts being muffled by my mother's constant scream. The scream that had first alarmed me did not stop throughout the entirety of the attack, and frankly, I can still hear it to this day. I remember hoping for the pain to stop and feeling my mom pulling him off of me.
What's wrong with you?
Hey, stay away.
Sir, are you able to tell me about the injuries on the two females, like the extent of the injuries that they had to the ambulance?
I think she was stabbed in the chest.
Okay. What about the other female?
I can't. She was slashed across the forehead.
And the guy saw this happen, and he came, and his hand is completely torn apart.
So, what the happened?
I just backed my truck in, got off of work, and I see the guy on top of that girl right there.
Okay.
I saw that, and I heard yelling. I ran over and knocked him off, and I guess when I knocked him off, sliced me.
But Madison has suffered the worst of it.
I remember finally being let go and falling to the ground because at that point, my body had been paralyzed.
He's paralyzed from the waist down currently and has some significant chest wounds that reach all the way down into like vital organs.
Little did I know that me being let go in that moment meant my mom was now being made another victim of the attack.
Mom had a huge lash on her face. She had a big lash across here, and she might have had a stab wound somewhere. I don't know.
Madison's friend explains the situation to first responders.
So we were walking out, and we wanted to leave early because of the boy. He was in there. So
This guy was
in
in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was in there, and we wanted to leave early so we would not catch him. And we were just walking, talking. We were both on the driver's side, and he comes running out of nowhere, drops his food, and I was like, at first I was like, what's happening? And then he comes and I thought he was gonna hug her, but he ends up taking a knife out, and I didn't see the knife until.
So you were standing right there with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought he was coming for me. But I thought he was just trying to tackle us or something.
Okay.
He ended up stabbing.
Witnesses flock to the officers on the scene to give their account of what went down.
We were having lunch on the patio. I saw that guy sprint. I didn't see anything. I saw them walk out.
Did it start up here though? Do we know?
No, it started right there.
Right here. Okay.
He was waiting on her. I saw this kid pacing around out here.
Okay.
The kid, the suspect.
Okay.
I don't know if he was the one.
I just talked to the manager, and so he stalked them here.
Whatever happened, I saw him pacing around out here, and I didn't put anything together, but I just...
And he started screaming, and he ran.
I ran over here to give him help. The guy who was sprinting over here, he was like, what the are you doing? He was sprinting through the parking lot. And so I jumped out of my seat, ran over here, and when I got over to here, he was walking back towards me with his hand completely gushing blood out of it.
Spencer keeps stabbing until a man named Kennedy Armstrong puts himself in harm's way.
Dan, you're a hero, man.
You are a hero.
Come on, bro. You're my hero, brother.
I had my hand essentially cut in half, skin flapping, seeing your own bones, along with your own blood spewing from a severed artery was something most can't imagine. I had to control and monitor every single breath to ensure I wasn't losing any more blood than I already had, all while separating myself to make sure our amazing first responders got to Madison and Miss Jackie first. God bless the first responders.
Can you tell me about their condition, ma'am? Are they breathing?
He is, but his hand is completely just. Somebody put a tourniquet on him, and somebody else is on the ground, and his whole hand is completely sliced open. He needs ambulance right away.
Okay, ma'am. The rescue's already on the way. You said there's another person involved also?
Is there someone on the ground over there? What is? Oh, the guy's trying to kill himself. He was stabbing a girl. He's like, this guy just comes. I don't know what has happened.
When he feels everyone is closing in on him, Spencer makes a thinly veiled attempt to end it all.
He's not moving. He has slit his throat multiple times.
Okay.
He's breathing, like you could see his vocal cord.
I ran up, I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he was like barely being able to do it.
Okay.
So I jumped on him and was like, give me the knife. I figured, because he's close to them. So I'm really on top of him. And he had a lot of power still.
Okay.
He was like, let me kill myself. I was like, dude. I was like, so I had two hands on him.
This is the weapon right here.
All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that my husband's the one that got it away from him.
He was cutting his neck.
He was cutting his neck, and my husband stopped him and threw it, got it away from him.
The scene is chaotic. Spencer's bleeding out from his neck. Kennedy Armstrong is profusely bleeding out of his hand. Madison's mom, Jackie, has at least 3 stab wounds to her face, and Madison herself is in critical condition.
Daughter is a 15 right now, but is possibly going to be crippled from the waist down.
Stabbed in her spine?
Stabbed in her spine. She's got spinal injuries, and she's got other sucking wounds that they've had to do.
Conscious and breathing, both of them?
I don't know if she was conscious and breathing or not. I know Mom was. I spoke with her.
Madison is rushed to the hospital.
Madison had patchy areas of where she could actually feel some things, but not feel a lot of things. So loss of sensation from the nipples down to her toes. And she had no motor function from below that T4 level, meaning that there was paralysis there initially on our examination.
Would you consider any of those injuries life-threatening?
Yes, I would.
In all, Madison sustains 2 collapsed lungs, a broken rib, and a laceration to her spinal cord. She undergoes spinal stabilization surgery, but is still left paralyzed. Kennedy Armstrong, the brave stranger who put himself in harm's way to save a young girl's life, is left with severe nerve damage and requires multiple surgeries. Madison's mom, Jackie, also needs surgery for her hand, but thankfully, everyone survives.
Thank you, Kennedy, for saving my daughter's life. I cannot ever express how much you mean to me and my family. You are the epitome of what a man should be, and I'm grateful for your parents for raising such a superhuman. I love you all beyond measure.
Spencer Pearson survives the entire ordeal too. He's charged with 2 counts of first-degree attempted murder with a weapon and 1 count of aggravated battery causing serious bodily injury. It will be another full year before the case makes its way through the justice system. During that time, Madison works tirelessly to recover.
I remember praying and telling myself that I had to survive. If not for me, for everyone in my life I knew would not be okay through my death. I remember begging God to live. I remember telling myself that I could not close my eyes, as I was terrified that if I did, I would never open them again. I had known I was paralyzed, yet never in my head did I think I would not overcome it. Immediately, I told myself that I would walk again, that I would walk at my senior night for softball, that I would walk at graduation the following May.
Madison Victoria Schemitz.
And finally walk into this very courtroom today.
Spencer is sentenced on November 22, 2024. It's through victim impact statements that the public learns the true extent of the hell he put Madison through even before he tried to take her life.
One date that specifically comes to mind in the days following the end of the relationships is April 4th, 2023. Not even 24 hours after the breakup, the stalking began. As I innocently sat in the Davis Park parking lot with a few friends after a softball game, the defendant decided to show up. Not only did he show up uninvited, he showed up unannounced and unwarranted. In that moment was the first moment I had felt that fear. I knew I did not deserve to fear. As I began pulling out of my parking space to head home was when I had noticed the defendant's appearance. I rolled down my window and asked him what he was doing, as he responded with the same question. I told him I had been sitting there talking with friends. I proceeded to then ask him if I could call him when I arrived home, as I felt an overwhelming sense of uneasiness being alone, late at night, in a dark parking lot with only the defendant. I then pulled out of Davis Park and began driving home. I vividly remember the defendant tailing my car in a way I knew he never did. The feeling of fear grew stronger and stronger each second of that drive home. Feeling the way I did, I purposely took a different route home than I normally would have taken so that I would pass the defendant's neighborhood. As I drove past, I hoped he would put on his blinker and make that left-hand turn in to go home, but by no surprise, he didn't. He continued to follow me. Feeling unsafe and unsure of what to do, I turned into the closest parking lot, knowing I absolutely did not want him to follow me home. Ironically enough, I pulled into the same plaza that Mr. Chubby Swings is located. I began texting the defendant, begging for him to stop following me, and very clearly telling him that he was scaring me. Still scared and unsure of what to do, I called one of my best friends who I knew was awake. I called her and explained to her what was going on, how I was feeling, and how I was unsure of what to do. This was when she told me to come to her house. As I drove through the plaza with the defendant still making every turn I did, still tailing my car, I decided to go to my friend's house. I pulled out of the plaza onto A1A, driving in the opposite direction of both my house and his, and headed to her home. I continued to tell the defendant to go home and told him I had to deliver a science packet to my friend, yet he did not turn around, nor did he go home. He proceeded to demand for me to go home and inform me that he knew that that wasn't on my agenda for tonight, and that I need to be home after my game, and that was my agenda. He continued to follow me up until I turned into her neighborhood, and I watched as he went into the gas station right beside and sat there for some time. The moment I pulled into her driveway, panicked and shaking, I saw her, and that was the first moment I felt some sort of relief and some sense of safety, knowing her parents were right inside and were aware of what was happening. After sitting in her driveway for some time, talking through what had just happened, I knew the defendant had finally gone home, and I finally felt comfortable enough to head home myself. Speaking to the defendant following his actions that night was frightening, upsetting, and frankly all over the place. His reasoning as to why he followed me home changed every time, whether it was making sure I got home, wanting to see if I was doing something behind his back, or just so happened to be going home that way anyways. With this incident, being not even 24 hours after the breakup, the 2 months following remained equally as torturous and frightening, as the stalking did not stop there, it had only just begun.
Madison then speaks about the day that everything came to a head.
On June 3rd, 2023, the defendant attacked and stabbed me 17 times with the intent of killing me. On June 3rd, 2023, 538 days ago, I survived the attack, and have continued to not only survive, but to live every single day I know I am so blessed to live.
While Madison has been very private with her recovery, I have to watch my daughter struggle every night and day because of you. Struggle to breathe because her lungs were collapsed because of you. Struggle to maintain her oxygen through 2 huge pneumothorax in her chest because of you. Struggle to sit up because of you. Struggle to brush her own teeth because of you. Then to struggle to gain mobility back after being stabbed in her spinal cord, causing paralysis because of you. Struggle every day to regain the independence she lost because of you. You have no idea how much pain you've caused my family, and you never will. You're a horrible person.
Though Spencer did plead guilty to all his charges, his defense team points to his autism, depression, and anxiety diagnoses as mitigating factors. They note it's not known exactly what amplifies Spencer's depression or anxiety, whether it was the isolation of quarantine or possibly the result of ongoing head injuries. Spencer played baseball, soccer, and football growing up, but the focus was really the latter. He played tackle football for more than a decade.
Were you able to estimate the number of contacts to his head over the course of his career?
Yes, I calculated roughly 10,000, just over 10,000 hits.
In the course of Spencer's career that were substantiated, how many times did he suffer a concussion that had been diagnosed or he was put in protocol?
We know of 2.
Later, experts will look back at these head injuries and infer that perhaps Spencer has undiagnosed CTE.
As I understand your testimony, the cavum septum pellucidum is evidence of an injury to a brain as opposed to some acute injury in and of itself?
It's not an acute injury. It doesn't happen all of a sudden. It happens gradually over time.
Okay. And you said it's evidence of a brain injury. Would that be from trauma to the head?
Well, it's typically evidence of multiple head injuries. It's something you see in NFL players.
And you saw that present in Mr. Pearson, who I believe was 20 years old when you had him imaged, correct?
Correct.
You can't say that the violent behavior specifically on June 3rd of 2023 is from anything that you saw on those scans.
All I can say is more likely to happen because he has brain injury and more impulsive and more easily to do things without regard to consequence and do things arising out of emotion.
But victim impact statements, like those from the surviving victims, seem to counteract any sympathy points for Spencer.
You planned this, you knew what you were doing, and thanks to God, you failed. You failed at your planned murder attempts, you failed at your own suicide, and you remain a failure until you see God, he sends you to the devil. Madison and Miss Jackie's road to recovery has been something I wouldn't wish upon anybody, except you. To close things out, you thought you were going to kill people that day, but instead you blew on an amber that sparked a fire inside of Madison, and that fire will continue.
Your Honor, on June 3rd, 2023, I did not know that as soon as I walked out of that restaurant, I would end up being forced to fight for my life. What I didn't know was that after I won that fight for my life, was that I would be faced with a lifetime's worth of challenges. Faced with the fact that walking out of that restaurant was the last time I would be able to walk for several months, the fact that the last time I would be running for my life, the fact that every single day following, I would have to continue to fight for my life, for normality, and to gain back every ounce of independence I once had.
Finally, before a sentence is handed down, Spencer Pearson himself addresses Madison, her mom, and Kennedy Armstrong.
Your Honor, I'm here before you today to take responsibility for my actions of June 3rd, 2023. And most importantly, I'm here to express my sincerest apology to Madison, Ms. Roger, Mr. Armstrong. I'm sure June 3rd was the worst day of their lives. It was also the worst day of mine and always will be. On this day, I hurt 3 innocent people. I think of my terrible crimes committed every second of every day. It's on my mind constantly, and this will never, ever change. I pray that Madison, Ms. Roger, and Mr. Armstrong make full recoveries. I can't begin to imagine what I've put them through and the negative effects I've had on everyone involved. I understand the anger and hatred they all have for me. I ask for forgiveness, and I ask for mercy. I ask for the chance to get help so I can return to my family and do good in this world. Thank you for your time. That's all I have to say.
And then Spencer's fate is sealed.
The events that unfolded on that afternoon were horrific. This defendant launched a vicious attack on a 17-year-old girl who had done nothing but show him love. There are just certain crimes that are committed that merit the maximum possible sentence. And this court finds that this is one of them. You are sentenced to serve the remainder of your life in prison.
Spencer Pearson is now serving out his life sentence. He will never be eligible for parole. They started as young lovers, but when she wanted out, he couldn't take no for an answer. In taking matters into his own hands, he forced the hands of justice, writing his own ticket to a lifetime behind bars. This has been Crimes of Passion by Law&Crime. I'm Sierra Gillespie.